Back to IPL 5. I am Jorisar.
And I'm Jay Morrow.
And we have a pretty sick game coming up for you guys here in the lower bracket. One of these players has to go home at this point. It's really sad, but we're going to be seeing a pretty cool best of three beforehand. We got Startail Squirtle going up against Invictus Gaming's XiGua.
I know, XiGua, basically the best Chinese player in the world right now. And, you know, to be honest, I've really wanted to watch him play for a long time. So I'm really excited to play against somebody who's high caliber as Squirtle. So it's going to be a really interesting game.
All right, guys. Well, let's get straight into it. We are on Metropolis and spawning in the left-hand side position as the blue Protoss, ladies and gentlemen. We have none other than the Startail legend. It is Squirtle.
The Startail legend? I see what you did there.
Oh, I didn't actually mean to do that.
And up here in the top right corner, coming from Invictus Gaming, we do have XiGua as our red Zerg. Yeah, you didn't mean to do that. Don't give me that.
If I remember correctly, XiGua is that's like a type of melon in Chinese.
Yeah, I'm going to trust your judgment.
It is
better than my own.
It's pretty awesome. I like his ID. But anyway, guys, I did actually get to see XiGua in action a little while ago at WCS Asia. And for a very long time, XiGua was touted as the best player in China. But the thing is, with the emergence of a lot of this new crop of players, well, like Tude Ming did really well. WCS Asia showed us some great games. There are players like just a lot of up-and-coming Chinese players that actually are giving XiGua a big run for his money. So I'm not 100% certain we can definitively say he's the best player in China at the moment, because the top Chinese players are all kind of there or thereabouts. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, he's clearly not or he clearly is. It's more along the lines of, well, every single one of them is just so good that they're just very close in skill level to each other. But he has got a massive task ahead of him in Squirtle.
Yep, this is definitely going to be a way to make your mark. I mean, he's the only Chinese player here, I believe, right now. So, I mean, XiGua's got a huge problem in front of him. I mean, Squirtle is such a great player. He was the second place runner-up last year, wasn't he? He was alive in Squirtle, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe in the case. I don't know off the top of my head, admittedly.
It's sad that I was here last year, too.
But either way, though, I mean, Squirtle, one of the best Protosses in the world, hands down. Oh, and look at this. Guys, XiGua is so smart. Sees that he's close by air positions, moves the Overlord so that it pops in from the bottom just in case Squirtle thinks he's in a different spawning location. Now, of course, the Probe Scout is going to give away that actually he's not. But XiGua, cool. Yeah, really nice repositioning of that Overlord there.
Yep, and it looks like we do have a gas geyser going down because he saw the gateway. Of course, that's the first thing you want to do, just to play a little bit defensive in case there is some sort of heavy gate pressure coming out, 2-3 gates or more. But it looks like XiGua is going to drop his hatchery on the low ground and just start macroing up from there.
You know, this is interesting because obviously we see so many Forge Fast expands these days that it's cool to see a gateway opening. Just going to be chrono boosting a couple of units out. Now, of course, what you have to remember is that with gateway openings, what you're trying to do is get the advantages from a Forge opening. So being able to defend against early Zergling pressure without having to invest so much in Forge and Cannon's super static defense. So you want to be getting those gateway units out early, like Zealots, of course. Like, they can move around the map and be mobile, like Cannon can't. And Stalkers, of course, are really useful there as well. But he wants to make sure he gets those first couple units out nice and early so that he can get into a mid-game army composition a little bit easier than if he went for that Forge first. So that's, I would say that's the general idea behind Squirtle's play at the moment.
Sure, that's an excellent read. And, you know, some players have been opting to go for this quick gateway, and then they actually end up getting a Forge afterwards.
Yeah,
but they tend to build it further in the back of their base so they can hide their upgrades a little bit, make sure that they do stay safe. And it looks like Squirtle's going to opt to get a little bit wall off, getting a couple extra gateways here, and then just macro up behind it. So I mean, this is a pretty solid build on both parts. I really like that Overlord maneuver that he did, and actually, we have quite a few Zerglings on the map right now, John.
We do indeed. XiGua really looking to ramp it up with this early pressure here against Squirtle, and a pause requested from Squirtle at the moment. There might be a little bit of a problem, so we'll wait for the players to sort that out.
There are 20 Zerglings on the way to his base. I would call a pause as well.
To stay in the game for longer.
Like, pause, please. Hold on 1 second here while I think about what I'm going to do here.
I don't actually think he's seen those Zerglings popping by there. He doesn't have control of that Zelnaga tower.
No, he doesn't have the Zelnaga tower, but he sees the ones in the front. Yeah, you're correct. He actually doesn't see them. It looks like he is ready, so...
Okay, yep, and the players are saying go. So we're going to be, let's unpause that and get back into this game. Squirtle is going to see 2 lings here, and actually that's a really smart wall off. The pylon going down right next to that other building as well. We're going to see a...
Speed is nowhere in sight either. This is really bizarre from G.
No, he's just gonna go and try and break the front. He sees, right, there's no forge. I'm going to go for an early Zergling pressure, and this could potentially work if he can stop those buildings before they complete or something like that. Showing 2 Zerglings to begin with, but that gateway is going to finish up, and there are 2 sentries here, so it's going to be very difficult for XiGua to get much purchase. Let's see if he... Oh, he's actually... Is he going to wait for speed to finish as well?
That'd be really bizarre if he did that, because there's gateway research about to finish and another gateway on the way as well, or warp gateway research, excuse me.
Okay, he's droning up behind this, so he's not attempting to do... he's not just going to continuously stream lings here. He's not trying to go... And did that Stalker see all of them?
I'm not sure exactly what he saw there.
He's still continuously showing a couple of lings at a time. And oh, is he going to get... Oh, no, he's not going to get that sentry, but he does get all the shields off on it as well, sending 2 or 3 Zerglings at a time. What XiGua wants to do right now is pick off those sentries. And once he picks off the sentries, he can then swing in. But I don't think he's going to be able to do that. And the Overlord just going to be confirming that actually there is no way in right now. So this puts XiGua in a difficult position, because look at all those lings, J. Morrow. Those could have been drones, and it could have been a 3rd hatch.
Could have been a 3rd hatchery, that's for sure, because currently XiGua does not have a 3rd. There is a probe down here to scout that, and there are a ton of Zerglings, 22 Zerglings on the field right now. Evolution Chamber coming out, so possibly see some 1-1 for those Zerglings, at least to make them a little bit stronger.
Yeah, for sure. I think he needs to really build on that army he has right now. 1-1 would certainly be a good way to do that. He's already got the units out on the field, and well, if Squirtle didn't have enough force fields before, he certainly does now.
Yep, and we'll probably see Squirtle go for a quick 3rd here. Actually, the sentries are moving out on the field. Is he going to go for some sort of pressure here? He doesn't really have too much to do it with. And here come the Zerglings. They're going to move in here, but there are so many force fields available that I don't even think they'll be able to break through here. A couple force fields are thrown down. Zerglings barely even doing any damage to the sentry. And I feel like Squirtle can easily break down these rocks, create a decent wall, and take a 3rd without a problem.
Now, Squirtle went straight for the Observer, so he's not going straight into Immortals or anything like that. He does have a healthy number of sentries out, but he's going to get the Observer before he thinks about grabbing any additional Immortals here. So it's not going to be a super quick Immortal time or anything like that. We've got... a
lot of tech in one spot.
Yeah, it really is, man. Like, those pylons are super valuable to him right now. And there we go, Macro Hatch and the 3rd base coming down from XiGua finally. And he's just going to macro up behind this and try and... basically try and get back into the game from that point of view, because making that many lings early on and then only being on 2 base as well against a 2-base Protoss means that XiGua wasn't going to be feeling a particularly comfortable position. We can see that actually in the Harvester count. He's down 45 to 51.
Yeah, no Immortals yet, just Observers. Very defensive play from Squirtle. And look, his favorite building of all time. There's the Robotics Bay.
That is his favorite building of all time.
And so he's going to break down the rocks, go up to 6 gas, it's looking like, and layer out that natural. Kind of an interesting choice here. Some players opt to do this. I don't really understand the preference. I guess it's...
Well, I think one of the big reasons behind doing this is because Zergs don't like Warp Prism harass. So if you sneak in a Warp Prism with a whole bunch of Zealots or maybe DTs later on, catch someone off guard as the 3rd gets a little bit harassed there, but Squirtle is going to be able to keep it down. You don't really want the building in your main to get dropped and taken out. So the natural is kind of sandwiched between the 1st and the 3rd, so it makes it a bit more of a difficult target.
Nice cut in half, or a nice slice in half by Squirtle there. A couple of the Zerglings do get through. They're not really going to do a whole lot. 1-1 is not done yet, so these Zerglings, I mean, they're not even getting to do damage, but the +1 would definitely help. Here come the rest of the Sentry. Of course, he has a ton of force. They have a Guardian Shield used for some reason, and it looks like the Zerglings are moving in. They're going to get a full surround here, and actually, are they going to clean this up here? All the Sentries are still in great health. Look at that orange health. There's the first one does go down here, but these Zerglings are not doing a whole lot yet. The Sentries are still alive. There goes the second one, and it looks like he might get a few more. No, resources lost are definitely showing in favor of Squirtle.
Yeah, he used all of the energy on those sentries there, but that was a lot of lings that went down at the 3rd base location. So XiGua at this moment in time, he built those lings and they didn't get a lot of damage done earlier on in the game, so he wanted to try and sit them to around the 3rd base location of Squirtle to see if he can get some damage done. Unfortunately, the 3rd was not cancelled, and he didn't actually get that many sentries for his trouble there, so just an inefficient engagement. He's going in for round number 2, though, and those sentries don't have too much energy, but the Colossus is out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you feel like XiGua might be a little bit intimidated right now? He's doing something a little bit hectic here, just kind of throwing lings back and forth, back and forth. He's going up to Aspire, so we're going to see him switch tech a bit, but I don't know. I feel like he's just kind of throwing these away for nothing at this point.
I see... No, I completely understand where you're coming from, and actually, I think it I think it's true to a very large extent. I mean, those Lings did at least give him map control.
Absolutely.
And he was able to poke and prod around at the third base in the natural expansion, but you're right. He didn't want to make those Lings so he could get map control. He wanted to make them so he could do some damage to Squirtle so that he had time to get up to what he wanted to do. And that hasn't happened for him. So I completely agree with you. He kind of lost them for no real gain here. And he's actually going up to 11 Mutalisks right now. So this is very interesting. He's not going for Corruptors to try and combat those. He's actually going straight into the Muta play. And I think this is another delaying tactic from XiGua. He's going to try and use his close by air positions to get his Mutas into places where he can harass Squirtle as much as he can until he gets back up to his ideal army composition.
And Squirtle already prepared for this. He has a perfect overseer, or excuse me, observer in the main of XiGua. He's actually going to have a ton of Stalkers ready for this. There is a +2 just about to finish for those Stalkers. 3 more Mutalisks are in production. And just kind of tech it every which way. The observer is going to be in a really, really good spot to see where exactly they are going to arrive.
Oh, and okay, he sees.
Yeah, he sees them coming into the main here.
And here we go. The Muta's now going to be moving into the main base of Squirtle. Great blink, actually, picking apart a couple of Mutas before any damage gets done whatsoever. And XiGua now has a bunch of Lings at the front, a bunch of Mutalisks in the back of the main, but neither group can do any damage right now. Squirtle is just, he's holding like a canyon wall.
Yeah, and there's the Templar Archives being dropped, so going up to the perfect tech to counter. There's a couple nice Storms or just a decent amount of Archons can completely counter the composition of XiGua right now. And Squirtle is just turtling up. He has no problem doing this. It's just looking really, really good for him right now. Income is definitely in favor of XiGua. He's on 4 base, but here comes XiGua once again. Here come the Mutalisks and the Zerglings together. And there's the blink forward, trying to pick off another Mutalisk, and no, it's not able to be happening.
But look at this, more and more Mutalisks being made by XiGua here. He is really determined to make this Zergling Mutalisk army work. And I'm just really concerned because there are Archons in the army composition now for Squirtle. There are Colossi in his army composition as well. It feels like in a straight-up fight with a couple of force fields, Squirtle's just going to maul this army. The AoE in this Protoss army is huge right now, and XiGua doesn't really have anything to deal with it.
Here comes +1 finishing up for the Mutalist, so maybe he'll make a little bit of a play.
Oh,
using this.
here we go.
Target fire down some of the Stalkers, breaks through the front line, actually slips right through into the main. 180 supply to 160. The Stalkers get completely surrounded, and nice Mutalist micro actually targeting down quite a bit of them, and 36 Zerglings in production.
Yeah, so he's trying to pick apart the Stalkers before the rest of the army gets there, because he knows once the Colossi and the Archons get there, he needs to be very, very careful with how he chooses to engage. But with the blink as well, great micro there from Squirtle. Got a couple of workers killed, but I don't know. I still feel that Squirtle's in a decent position right now. He's hanging on well, and I think XiGua is trying to delay this inevitable push that's coming out from Squirtle, because what has he got to deal with the Archons and the Colossi?
Absolutely.
Not a lot.
Yeah, I like what he's doing. I mean, he's trying to be a little bit more mobile. He knows that Squirtle can't move around too much. I mean, he's killed 24 workers this game, which is pretty crazy to think about. He's up to 26 Mutalisks, but in a direct engagement, those Mutalisks mean absolutely nothing. Starting to get higher Archon counts. There's a decent number of Colossi in the field, so I don't know, man. This is going to be really difficult if XiGua can keep poking him, but eventually Squirtle's just going to get frustrated and push on him.
Yep, all XiGua is doing at the moment is trying to delay Squirtle as much as possible. And I mean, he's doing a good job, man. He's holding on like a fan of Duke Nukem Forever, you know? He's doing a good job. He has a lot of patience here.
Wow.
But Squirtle, unfortunately, he's just decided that enough is enough, and he's actually moving out into the middle of the map with his army. Now he needs to warp in and try and stop this Ling run by here, because XiGua's actually doing a lot of damage. His main army, though, basically can't be killed by what XiGua has at home right now. Squirtle, we could even see a base trade scenario, but look at this. The number of cannons in the third base location is just beautiful for Squirtle here, trying to whittle down the army of XiGua before he can actually destroy everything. And we need to see a few more warpins at home, and Squirtle might be able to handle this. Oh, wait, no, there come the Mutas as well.
Yeah, there are just a few more stragglers back in the natural of Squirtle with the Zerglings, and XiGua trying to build as many spine crawlers as they can. 10 more Mutalisks are in production. That will put him closer to 35, actually. But like you said, I mean, once Squirtle decides to do a direct engagement with him, I don't think XiGua's going to be able to fight him in a 1v1 situation.
XiGua is doing a great job, actually, here. Better than I expected at the third base location. The Ling run by with the Mutas just did such a fantastic job there, actually, that he's actually really going for it in this base trade scenario. I mean, both sides are at around 100 supply at the moment, and XiGua is slowly picking apart all the buildings there that Squirtle has to offer. The third base is back up and mining, though, and if Squirtle can attempt to hold on to that, he might be able to be okay, but never mind. Another huge assault with these Mutalisks, and Squirtle just doesn't have the warp-ins available.
The problem is XiGua is losing way too many Mutalisks, down to 17 right now. He's made about 30 to 40 this game, and just losing too many during this engagement, down to 16 at this point. And like you're talking about, I mean, there's no way he's going to be able to deal with this force from Squirtle right now.
This is so intense, and actually Squirtle blinking, moving back to try and save the rest of his buildings. Now, what happened during this engagement, guys, at the ZerG base, is that we basically saw XiGua had his lings mopped up in the natural and the main. So that meant a decent number of buildings still survived, and those Mutalisks were what was left. So as soon as Squirtle moved back with a bunch of Blink Stalkers, XiGua was going to have a tough time, and Squirtle has just left about half his forces back attacking the fourth here.
Wow, very, very well done by Squirtle. I like what you said about XiGua trying to go for that base trade scenario a little bit. It did work out a lot better than I would have expected looking at the army supplies and the compositions.
Yep. No, that was really solid play coming out of there from Squirtle. I mean, XiGua, I thought he made a great decision to go into the base trade, because with the Lings and Mutas, he did a lot better than I expected, I'll be honest.
Absolutely.
Coming in at the natural expansion with those Lings was really, really good, actually. He managed to take out a lot of the tech buildings in the main and natural, but what Squirtle did very crucially was that he used his warp-ins to kill the Zerglings. And once only the Mutalisks were left, at that point, Squirtle can go, okay, I can now split my army effectively. I can come back with some Blink Stalkers to deal with the Mutas and know that they're not going to be surrounded by Lings as well, and therefore just have them mopped up. And I can leave the rest of my army to continue to base trade, and the Mutas are going to have no choice but to either run away, and then of course the next side is still there because not everything was destroyed because the Lings were mopped up, or try and fight, then the Mutas would get mopped up.
Yep.
So what do you do? Really, really tough decision there, but a really good decision-making from XiGua to go into the base trade, I think, but even better decision-making from Squirtle biding his time until he split his army.
Yep, it was a very, very beautiful split. Had the Archons and Colossi all grouped up together, and then the Stalkers separately. Very, very well done.
So guys, we're going to be going into game number 2 in just a second between Startail Squirtle and Invictus Gaming's XiGua. We're going to go to a very short commercial break while we get that map hosted up. I am Jarosar. With me is JMorrow Pro. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.